Hello everyone, today I am excited to announce a new update for the hide and show script. With this update you will even have way more control than you ever had in your whole life. So first up, we have added a new action mode called it's called action mode. Basically when you want the commands to execute. So if you want them to execute on streaming or on recording, then you will select one of those. If you wanted to execute default, which is instantly without waiting for anything, then you would select the global. There's also new events that you could use. One of them are called Onstream and Onrecord. Those events are basically the same thing as selecting on the action mode. It's just that you could now use a command line basically. So you would do something like Onstream, and then you would use the opening and closing brackets. In the brackets is where you would write your code. So for example, if I wanted to hide label 1, I would do hide label 1, just like that. And if I wanted to add another one, you could use a semicolon, I think that's what it's called, right? And then say show label 1. So this is gonna hide and show label 1 every 1 second when we're streaming basically. And if we're not streaming, then the command is not gonna execute. That's because the user has to be streaming for these commands inside of this block to be executed. For this example, I'm gonna show you guys with Onrecord because I don't want to stream right now. I'm just gonna record it. So I'm gonna click enter. Oh, great. We have to select the scene. Let's just go ahead and click test. There we go. Oh yeah, this is actually label 1. So I'm just gonna name it label 1. And we're good. Now if we execute that code, you will notice that it's gonna add it onto the assurance list. And on the assurance list, you would have this block called Onrecord. And it's called a client event. So the reason why this is called a client event is because it will only execute when the user is like interacting with the OBS itself. So like in this case, it's listening for Onrecord. So for the commands inside of this block, which is hide label 1 and show label 1 every 1 second, for those to be executed, the user has to be recording. So for example, now you notice that nothing's happening with label 1. That's because we're not recording. But if I click record, you would notice that it will hide itself every 1 second and it would show itself. There it is. Notice that now that I stopped the recording, nothing is currently happening to label 1. That's because we're not recording anymore. So it basically stops once the event is also not running. If you go back to, so you could also do the same thing by selecting on the action mode. So if I click recording on the action mode and then go to, so the reason why you do this is because you're going to be using the interface itself to do this. So for example, if I say show label 2 for example, and then just like that, and then hide label 2 just like that, you would notice that now if we go to the assurance list, we have oh my god, what the fuck did I just do? What the heck? Oh shit. Anyway, as you can see, you could also do the same thing by using the interface itself as well. But if you're using the interface and you also have the action mode set here, and you type your code in here without using anything, so for example, if I say hide label 5, if I enter this code, you would notice that this command will actually be inserted onto the Onrecord. So the reason why this is being inserted onto the Onrecord is because we actually have the action mode set to recording. But if we go back to global and then click execute again, you would notice that now it's outside of the block of the Onrecord block, and it's in the global space, which is by itself, which is the default setup. So yeah, make sure you always switch between them if you want to have this kind of effect. This will allow you to like set a number of times how long an action should repeat itself basically. So for example, if it's set to -1, this would mean it's gonna run forever. But if you set it to like 1 or 2 or 3, then it would work. If you set it to 0, it's gonna yell at you. It's gonna tell you you cannot do this. So yeah, basically the repeat value is also gonna be shown onto the action that it's currently running. So as you can see right here, it's saying xinf, which means run it times infinite. So it's gonna run forever. That's what xinf means. But if you change the number to like 2 or 3, then it's gonna be x2 or x3 and so on. And also you can write the repeat value in the command line if you're working with action command. For example, if I say hide label 1, you can go ahead and put the time. You have to put the time basically to work with the repeat. The repeat value is going to be the fourth line, the third pipeline after the time basically is where you would put X and then how long you want it to repeat for. So you could say X10, X20, 30, it doesn't matter. And if you wanted to run infinite, which is the default, you could go ahead and say X and then inf, which is gonna run forever, just like that. And if you want this to run one time, you could also do it like that as well. There it is, and there. Now there's two of them here, so I don't know what's gonna happen if you have two labels hiding at the same time with the X of inf and the X of 1. So maybe that could still work, but you know, I would not recommend doing that. But yeah, that's that basically. With that, you can also use the new OnEvent setup, which are called OnshowEnd and OnhideEnd. So for this, basically, it's gonna allow you to like listen for when the repeat limit has reached to like the action on the action target that you have set. So for example, if you wanted to know when label 1 has reached its repeat value limit, you could use on show or on end. So there's two of those two options that you have. So if you click on hide end, then you have to put the target, which in this case, let's say we're working with label 1, and then you know what you want to do with it. So the rest is the same thing, and the action, whatever the action is. So this on hide end is gonna get executed when the repeat limit has reached basically. So if it's repeating itself for 2 times, then it's gonna execute itself when it has executed 2 times basically. So that is how that works. If you use the hashtag in the command line when you're working with actions or events, you will be able to like refer back to the target that already exists in the program assurances without having to like rename retype the name all over again basically. So for example, label 1, label 2, and label 3, just like that. And now if I want to refer back to them, normally you would do something like hide label 1, and you know, this would work. But now what you could do is that you could use a hashtag, and then you could put like 1, which is gonna refer back to label 1, or you could put like 2, which is gonna refer to label 2, and 3, which is gonna refer to label 3. So when you say hide hashtag 3, it's gonna refer back to 3. So the reason why this is working is not because of the label has a number 3 on it. It's because that is how they're basically laid out. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So it doesn't have to be on there, you know. So this is just like indexing the current target in the program assurance list. So if this was named label 4 instead of label 3, it would still return that label 4 because that is the position that it's currently on. You cannot put 0. You have to start with 1 basically, because that, you know, that's how it works. But yeah. And you could also do the same thing by using the on events. So if you do something like this, you would also be able to like refer back to those elements as well. And I could do this again. Look at that. Now we have 2 of them added because that's the on event that we're using. And then we can say hide. Look at that. There, easy. I don't have to like repeat myself all, you know, over and over again. So that's basically really all. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any other suggestion or any other features that you want me to add onto this, and I will do that. Thanks to Lord, shout out to like this guy on OBS forums. He actually gave me this idea to like, you know, add these features. I think his name is called Lord something. Lord Creek 3000. Yes, that was his name. But anyway, shout out to you, and yeah, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Alright, goodbye.